I was folding laundry in my tiny apartment when Mom's text came through. "Don't come to the funeral. You're not welcome anymore. Not welcome. At my own grandmother's funeral." I stared at those words until they blurred. My hands were shaking so hard I dropped the shirt I was holding. Grandma had died 3 days ago, and this was the first time Mom had contacted me. Not to tell me she was gone. Not to cry together, just to uninvite me. I'm 24 years old. I've been the family disappointment for exactly 2 years now, ever since I refused to marry Derek, the perfect man Mom had chosen for me. A lawyer, stable, boring as hell. I chose art school instead. I chose my dreams instead. And apparently, that was unforgivable. "You made your choice," Mom had said back then, her voice cold as winter. "Now live with it." But this? Banning me from saying goodbye to the one person who never judged me? The woman who taught me to paint, who slipped me $20 bills when Mom wasn't looking, who told me I was brave. I read the message again. Then I bought a black dress online with rush delivery. Because here's what Mom didn't know. Grandma had called me the week before she died. Her voice was weak, but her words were crystal clear. "Come to my funeral, sweetheart. No matter what anyone says. Promise me you'll be there." And I never broke a promise to Grandma. The funeral was in 2 days. I had no idea what I was walking into, but I was going. What I didn't know was that showing up would expose a secret that would destroy everything Mom had built. The funeral home smelled like lilies and lies. I arrived early, hoping to slip in unnoticed, maybe sit in the back. My black dress was simple, cheap, nothing like the designer outfits my family would be wearing. My hands clutched a single white rose, the kind Grandma used to grow in her garden. The parking lot was already filling up. Mercedes, BMWs. My beat-up Honda looked like it had wandered into the wrong neighborhood. I took a breath and walked toward the entrance. That's when I saw her. Mom stood at the door like a guard dog, greeting guests in her perfect black Chanel suit. Her hair was styled in that tight bun she always wore. Next to her stood my older brother, Marcus, 32 and golden as always. The successful one. The obedient one. I was 10 feet away when Mom's eyes landed on me. Her face went white, then red. "What are you doing here?" People turned. Conversation stopped. "I came to say goodbye to Grandma," I said quietly. "I told you not to come." Her voice was sharp enough to cut glass. "You have no respect. Not for me, not for this family, not even for the dead." Marcus stepped forward, his expression disgusted. "Emily, seriously? You couldn't give Mom 1 day of peace?" "Grandma would want me here," I whispered. Mom laughed, actually laughed, cold and bitter. Grandma was confused at the end. "Dementia," the doctor said. She didn't know what she was saying. That was a lie. Grandma's mind had been sharp until the very end. "You need to leave," Mom said loudly, making sure everyone could hear. "Before you embarrass yourself more than you already have." I stood there, frozen, as 50 pairs of eyes judged me. Then a voice behind me said, "Actually, she has every right to be here." I turned. And that's when everything changed. The man standing behind me was in his mid-50s, wearing an expensive gray suit. I'd never seen him before in my life. "Excuse me?" Mom's voice was ice. "And who are you?" "Robert Chen. I'm Mrs. Helena's attorney." He extended a hand that Mom refused to shake. "I have explicit instructions from my client regarding this funeral. Emily Parker is to be admitted. No exceptions." My heart hammered. Grandma had planned this? Mom's face twisted. "My mother didn't have a private attorney. I handled all her affairs." "Actually, Mrs. Parker, you handled some of her affairs." "Not all." His smile was polite but firm. "May we speak inside?" "This isn't the place for this discussion." "There's nothing to discuss," Marcus snapped. "Our sister made her choices. She walked away from this family." "Is that what you told everyone?" I found my voice finally. "That I walked away?" Mom's eyes flashed with warning. "Emily, don't—" "I didn't walk away. You cut me off because I wouldn't marry the man you chose." "Because I wanted to live my own life." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all watching like this was theater. "You were always selfish," Mom hissed, stepping closer. "Ungrateful. Your grandmother spent her final months heartbroken because of you." That hit like a slap. My eyes burned. That's interesting, Mr. Chen said calmly, pulling out a folder. Because Mrs. Helena called me 3 times in her final month. She was very clear-minded, very concerned, specifically about financial irregularities she'd discovered. The color drained from Mom's face. What? What are you talking about? Her voice shook now. Perhaps we should discuss this inside, he repeated. With Emily present, as Mrs. Helena requested. Mom looked like she might faint. Marcus grabbed her arm, and I realized Grandma hadn't just invited me to her funeral. She'd set a trap. The funeral home's private room felt smaller than it was. Mom sat rigid in her chair, Marcus beside her whispering urgently. Mr. Chen placed his briefcase on the table with a soft click that sounded like a gunshot. I stood near the door, still not sure if I should even be here. This is inappropriate, Mom said, her voice tight. My mother is lying in a casket 50 feet away, and you want to discuss business? Your mother specifically requested this meeting occur today, at this time, before the service. Mr. Chen opened his briefcase. She wanted certain people present. Emily, please sit. I sat. My legs felt like water. He pulled out a stack of documents. Mrs. Helena came to me 4 months ago. She was concerned about discrepancies in her financial accounts. Money that had been moved without her authorization. That's ridiculous, Marcus said quickly. Mom had power of attorney. Everything was legal. Power of attorney allows you to act on someone's behalf. It doesn't make their money yours. Mr. Chen's voice was calm, factual. Over the past 3 years, approximately $340,000 was transferred from Mrs. Helena's accounts into accounts controlled by you, Mrs. Parker. The room went silent. That money was for her care, Mom said, but her voice wavered. Medications, nurses, the facility. The facility costs $4,500 monthly. Medications average $600. I have receipts. He slid papers across the table. Even accounting for legitimate expenses, there's $280,000 unaccounted for. My stomach turned. You stole from Grandma? I did not steal. Mom shot to her feet. I sacrificed everything for her. Do you know what it's like caring for an elderly parent? The phone calls, the emergencies, the constant demands? So you paid yourself? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I deserved compensation. Her mask was cracking now, the perfect daughter act falling away. While you were off playing artist, I was dealing with reality. Reality? You took her money and then told me not to come to her funeral because I was the embarrassment? Marcus stood up. Emily, you don't understand the pressure. Where's the money, Mom? She didn't answer. Mr. Chen did. Renovations to your home. A new car. A timeshare in Cabo. Mom's face went purple. And then Mr. Chen said the words that made the floor disappear. Mrs. Helena changed her will 5 weeks before she died. Mom's hand gripped the edge of the table so hard her knuckles went white. What did you just say? Your mother executed a new will on September 14th, witnessed, notarized, completely legal. Mr. Chen didn't even blink. She was very specific about her wishes. That's impossible. Marcus's voice cracked. She wouldn't. We took care of her. You took care of her money, I said quietly. Mom whirled on me. Don't you dare judge me. You abandoned her. You stopped visiting. Because you told me I wasn't welcome. You said I was upsetting her, that my lifestyle choices were giving her stress. My voice broke. I called her every week. Every single week. Until you changed her phone number and didn't tell me. The silence that followed was deafening. You changed Grandma's number? Even Marcus looked shocked. She needed peace, Mom whispered, but she wouldn't meet anyone's eyes. Emily was filling her head with nonsense about art and independence and... The truth? I finished. I was telling her the truth about what you did to me. Mr. Chen cleared his throat. If we could return to the matter at hand. Mrs. Helena's estate is valued at approximately $1.2 million. The house, investments, savings? Mom exhaled slowly. Math was happening behind her eyes. Even split 2 ways with Marcus, that was $600,000. Enough to erase what she'd stolen. Enough to maintain her perfect life. The house was always going to be mine, Mom said, composing herself. Mother promised me that house 40 years ago. The house, Mr. Chen said, sliding another document across the table, along with all bank accounts, investment portfolios, and personal effects, have been left entirely to Emily Parker. The words hung in the air like smoke. Mom's face went blank. What? Everything goes to Emily, with one exception. A trust fund of $50,000 for each of Mrs. Helena's great-grandchildren, should any exist in the future. No. Mom shook her head. No, that's not— she wouldn't— Marcus stood up so fast his chair fell backward. This is insane. Emily hasn't been part of this family in 2 years. Actually, I whispered, tears streaming down my face now, I think I was the only family Grandma had left. Mom's hands were shaking. Her perfect composure shattered completely. And then she said something that made my blood run cold. That will is fraudulent. Mom's voice was pure venom now. My mother wasn't in her right mind. I'll have it contested. I'll drag this through court for years if I have to. Mr. Chen didn't flinch. I anticipated that argument, which is why Mrs. Helena recorded a video testament. She wanted to ensure there would be no doubt about her mental capacity or her intentions. He pulled out a laptop and opened it on the table. No, Mom's voice cracked. I don't want to see— Sit down, Mrs. Parker. Something in his tone made it not a request. She sat. He pressed play. Grandma's face filled the screen. She looked thinner than I remembered, her hair completely white now, but her eyes— God, her eyes were sharp and fierce and so beautifully alive. Hello, my darlings. Her voice made my chest ache. If you're watching this, I'm gone. And I imagine there are some unhappy people in that room. Despite everything, I almost smiled. Margaret. Grandma looked directly at the camera, and I knew she was talking to Mom. My daughter, I loved you from the moment you were born. But somewhere along the way, you became someone I don't recognize. Someone who values appearances over truth, money over family, control over love. Mom's jaw clenched. You stole from me, Margaret. Don't insult me by denying it. I have the bank statements. I know about the transfers, the forged signatures, the lies you told the accountant. Grandma's voice was steady, disappointed but not surprised. You broke my heart long before my body broke down. A sob escaped Mom's throat. And Emily. Grandma's expression softened and fresh tears poured down my face. My brave girl. You thought I didn't know what your mother did to you? How she manipulated you, isolated you, tried to control every aspect of your life. Grandma, I whispered to the screen. I knew everything. Every phone call she intercepted. Every lie she told about you to the family. Every time she said you were too busy to visit when really, she'd told you not to come. Marcus turned to Mom slowly. Is that true? Mom said nothing. Grandma continued. Emily, you are getting everything because you are the only one who loved me without wanting something in return. The only one who saw me as a person, not a bank account. The video paused on her gentle smile. Then Mr. Chen said, There's more. But first, Mrs. Parker, we need to discuss the criminal implications of elder financial abuse. Criminal? Mom's voice was barely a whisper. You can't be serious. Elder financial abuse is a felony in this state, Mrs. Parker. The evidence is substantial. Mr. Chen's expression was granite. However, Mrs. Helena didn't want to destroy you. She wanted justice and accountability. How generous, Marcus said bitterly. She cuts us out completely and calls it justice? She cut you out because you enabled it, I snapped. You knew, didn't you? You knew what Mom was doing. His silence was answer enough. Mr. Chen pulled out another document. Mrs. Helena left instructions. If Mrs. Parker returns every dollar taken unlawfully within 90 days, no criminal charges will be filed. The evidence will be sealed? Mom's head snapped up. Every dollar? That's nearly $300,000. I don't have— Then you'll need to liquidate assets. Sell the timeshare. Downsize the car. Whatever it takes. His tone left no room for negotiation. Emily will receive the full amount, which partially compensates for her inheritance that you spent. This is extortion, Marcus growled. No, this is mercy, I said quietly. Grandma could have had you arrested. She didn't. Mom's hands covered her face. For the first time in my life, I saw her truly broken, not performing grief, actually shattered. I need air, she gasped, standing abruptly. I can't, She rushed out of the room. Marcus stared at me with pure hatred. You happy now? You've destroyed our mother. I didn't do anything, I said. She destroyed herself. You turned Grandma against us, filled her head with, I visited her, I shouted. That's all I did. I showed up. I listened. I loved her without keeping a ledger. He flinched. Mr. Chen closed his briefcase. The service begins in 20 minutes. Mrs. Helena wanted Emily to speak. She wrote something for you to read if you're willing. He handed me an envelope. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside was a single page in Grandma's elegant handwriting. The first line made me gasp. Tell them what I really died of. I looked up at Mr. Chen. What does she mean? His expression was grim. There's something you need to know about your grandmother's death. Something that changes everything. My blood went cold. What are you talking about? He glanced toward the door, then back to me. Your grandmother didn't die of heart failure, Emily. The room tilted. She was poisoned. The word poisoned echoed in my skull like a scream. What? My voice didn't sound like mine. That's not... The doctors said heart failure. The initial diagnosis was heart failure. But your grandmother suspected something was wrong. She felt herself deteriorating too quickly. Mr. Chen's voice was careful, measured. She ordered private blood work 3 weeks before she died. The results came back 2 days after her death. He slid a medical report across the table. The words blurred. Elevated levels. Digitalis toxicity, consistent with prolonged exposure. Digitalis? I couldn't breathe. It's derived from foxglove plants. In small doses, it's used for heart medication. In larger doses, accumulated over time, it mimics heart failure. He paused. Your grandmother wasn't prescribed digitalis, yet it was found in toxic levels in her system. My entire body went numb. Someone was killing her? Marcus had gone pale. This is insane. You're saying someone murdered our grandmother? I'm saying the evidence suggests intentional poisoning over several months. Mr. Chen pulled out another file. Mrs. Helena grew suspicious when her symptoms worsened after she confronted your mother about the missing money. She started keeping a journal. He opened it. Grandma's shaky handwriting filled the pages. July 12th. Told Margaret I wanted to review the accounts myself. She became very agitated. Made me chamomile tea to calm my nerves. Within an hour, heart palpitations returned. My stomach lurched. August 3rd. Asked Margaret about the money again. She brought dinner, homemade soup. Said I needed to eat more. Violently ill all night. Oh my God, I whispered. August 29th. Changed my will today. Didn't tell Margaret. She brought my pills tonight. I pretended to take them but hid them instead. Testing them tomorrow. The next entry was September 1st. Just one word in capital letters. Poison. I couldn't stop shaking. Mom wouldn't... She couldn't... But even as I said it, I remembered. Mom always brought Grandma's meals during the final months. Always insisted on personally managing her medications. Always sent the nurses away during family time. The police? Marcus's voice cracked. Does anyone else know? Mrs. Helena made me promise not to involve authorities until after the funeral. She wanted you all here, together, to hear the truth. Mr. Chen's eyes were hard. She wanted her killer to know she knew. The door opened. Mom walked back in, composed again, lipstick reapplied. I'm ready for the service. Let's get this over. She stopped when she saw our faces. What now? Her voice had an edge of hysteria. I stood slowly, the journal in my hands. Grandma kept a diary, Mom. Something flickered in her eyes. Fear. Emily, whatever lies are in there. Is that what you call it? My voice shook with rage. Lies? I don't know what you're talking about. I read aloud. September 14th. Margaret doesn't know I've hidden cameras in my room. Mom's face turned to stone. And that's when I understood. Cameras? Mom's voice was barely audible. Mother didn't have, she couldn't have, she did. Mr. Chen pulled out a tablet. Small, wireless, hidden in the bookshelf. She was more tech-savvy than you thought, Mrs. Parker. She ordered them online. I helped her set them up. Mom looked at him like he was the devil himself. Show me, Marcus demanded. If this is real, show us. Mr. Chen tapped the screen. Security footage appeared. Grandma's bedroom. Date stamped September 10th, 8:47 p.m. We watched in silence. The door opened. Mom entered carrying a tray with pills and water. Grandma was in bed, looking frail and weak. Time for your medication, Mother. Mom's voice came through, tinny but clear. I don't feel well, Margaret. Maybe we should call the doctor. You're fine. You just need rest. Here. Mom handed her pills. Take these. Grandma raised the glass to her lips but didn't swallow. Mom turned away to adjust the curtains. That's when Grandma spit the pills into her hand and slipped them under her pillow. Mom turned back. Good. Now get some sleep. After Mom left, Grandma pulled the pills out, stared at them, and whispered to the camera, She's adding something. I can see the powder residue. She thinks I'm too blind to notice. Tears streamed down my face. Mr. Chen played another clip. September 15th. Mom entering with soup. You need to eat, Mother. Keep your strength up. I'm not hungry. Just eat it. Mom's mask slipped, her voice sharp and cruel. Do you have any idea how exhausting this is? How much I've sacrificed? Grandma flinched. Margaret, please what? Please let you give everything to Emily? That ungrateful brat who abandoned us? Mom's hands were shaking. I've spent 3 years taking care of you. 3 years of my life. And you want to leave it all to her? She loves me, Grandma said softly. She loves your money just like everyone else. Mom slammed the soup down. But it doesn't matter now. You'll sign the papers I brought, or what? Grandma's voice was suddenly strong. You'll kill me faster? The room went silent, both on screen and in real life. Mom's face on the video went white. What did you say? I know what you've been doing, Margaret. I know you've been poisoning me. Present-day Mom collapsed into her chair, all color drained from her face. Marcus stared at her in horror. Mom, tell me you didn't. Tell me this isn't real. She said nothing, just stared at her hands. There's one more clip, Mr. Chen said quietly. From the night Mrs. Helena died. No, Mom whispered. Please no. He pressed play anyway. And what we saw made Marcus vomit into the trash can. The final video was dated September 28th, 11:53 p.m. Grandma was asleep. The room was dark except for the glow of her medical monitors. The door opened slowly. Mom crept in like a shadow. She stood over Grandma's bed for a long moment, just watching her breathe. Then she pulled something from her pocket, a syringe. I'm sorry, Mother, she whispered. But you left me no choice. The new Will, the lawyer, threatening to expose me. I can't let you ruin everything I've built. She uncapped the syringe. My hand flew to my mouth. Oh, God. But then Grandma's eyes opened. I knew you'd come tonight, she said clearly, her voice stronger than it had been in weeks. After I told you about the cameras this afternoon. Mom froze, syringe in hand. You think I'm senile, Margaret? That I wouldn't notice you disconnected them today. Grandma smiled sadly. But I installed backups. Mr. Chen has everything. Every word, every pill, every moment of your cruelty. Mother, please. Mom's voice broke. I loved you so much, Grandma whispered. Where did I go wrong? You went wrong when you chose her over me. Mom's composure shattered completely. Perfect little Emily with her art and her dreams. You always loved her more. Even when she abandoned you. She never abandoned me. You made sure we couldn't see each other. Because you knew if we talked, I'd learn the truth about what you did to her. Grandma's eyes filled with tears. You tried to control her life, and when she escaped, you punished us both. Mom's hand with the syringe trembled. Put it down, Margaret. For a moment, I thought she would. I thought something human might resurface. But then Mom's face went cold and empty. You're already dying. This just speeds it up. And with you gone, I'll contest that will. I'll destroy Emily. I'll get what I deserve. She brought the syringe toward Grandma's IV line. The video cut to black. That was the last footage, Mr. Chen said quietly. Your grandmother died 47 minutes later. I called the police the next morning. They've been building a case since. Mom sat motionless, mascara running down her face in black rivers. Marcus was crying. How could you? She was your mother. The door opened. 2 police officers entered. Margaret Parker, you're under arrest for the murder of Helena Chen Parker. As they read Mom her rights and cuffed her hands, she finally looked at me. Really looked at me. I did it for us, she whispered. For our family. For our legacy. We were never your family, I said, my voice steady despite the tears. We were your possessions. They led her away. The funeral happened 2 hours later. I stood at the podium and read Grandma's letter. I told everyone the truth, all of it. Some people left. Some stayed and apologized. Some cried. I buried Grandma next to the foxglove garden she'd planted years ago, never knowing what her daughter would become. 6 months later, I sold the house and used the money to open an art school for kids who needed someone to believe in them. I named it Helena's House, because Grandma taught me that love isn't control. Family is an obligation, and sometimes the bravest thing you can do is show up, even when everyone tells you not to. Especially then.